4-star check.
Aircraft log release.
Check.
Gear pins.
Counted for.
Beacon.
On.
Fuel.
Release 4,400 pounds.
Q4 Alpha 20.
6170, last minute change, Alpha 24 is your gate.
Taxi cross bleed off closed. 4-star check complete.
Clear right, sir.
Starting right.
Runway 27, clear for takeoff.
Every takeoff in the Dornier is an exciting takeoff.
Thrust, the feeling of being thrown back in your seat.
You sit back and recline, go straight up.
6136, climb and maintain 13,000.
We all love the power. The takeoff's probably the best part of the whole flight.
The climb rate, the performance of the aircraft is spectacular.
It climbs at 4,000 or 5,000 feet a minute. It's just amazing.
Screaming like a bat out of hell, straight up. You can out-climb anything out there if you want to.
Bigger airplanes like the 737s or the CRJs. You look down on the TCAS and you're out climbing this person already. For me, thinking, yeah, buddy, get you. You might be faster than cruise, but I cannot climb you.
I think I always assumed I was going to be a pilot from the time I was about 6 years old.
Where I grew up, it was very near Manila International Airport. So I'd get to see all the big boys come in and out.
I can remember going to the airport, standing in the glass window watching a big airplane pull right up to the window, you know, and I thought, wow, that's really cool.
Initially, people said, no, you can't fly because you're a woman.
Getting into the airlines was not as easy as I thought it would be.
I worked 3 jobs simultaneously.
Spent about 6-7 years flying jumpers, ferrying airplanes.
Didn't go anywhere, didn't go vacations, didn't do anything to save enough money to get myself through school.
Getting my first airline job was incredible.
Getting hired on someplace that you want to be is a very big deal.
It meant that a lot of the hard work was starting to pay off.
I think I danced around the house for about 4 or 5 days.
I jumped up and down like 24/7.
I just remember thinking that I was at the start of a really exciting journey.
Transitioning to Dornier cockpit is actually kind of hard. When you add power in the Dornier, you go straight up 60, 80 miles an hour.
The power in this airplane was overwhelming, so I felt like I was hanging on the end.
It was like stepping into a Corvette.
You'd add the power and it felt like
Everything was lightning fast.
I felt like I was saying clear for takeoff and the airplane was already at 10,000 feet.
it was like you blinked and you were off the ground, and then you blinked again and then you had to level off.
And we were like, holy crap, this thing is climbing.
You are so far behind that airplane that if it were to crash, you wouldn't feel it for 10 minutes.
The simulator cannot prepare you for the actual experience itself.
There's a lot going on in this airplane. It'll bite you if you're not on top of it all the time.
I love this plane. Who doesn't like the Dornier?
My favorite thing is the flight deck itself.
It's very user-friendly.
Everything's right there in front of you.
It's got a lot of fancy gadgetry in the cockpit.
6136, clear direct bound.
The best features, I think, in the 328 would be the avionics.
The vertical navigation is really nice. That's one thing a lot of jets don't have.
Makes planning descents very simple.
At all times, you could look at that thing and you know exactly where you are.
I don't think there's another regional jet made that's better for the flying public.
As far as 32-seat airplanes go, it's extremely comfortable.
I would rather fly on this airplane than the CRJ.
The CRJ window, you gotta break your neck to look outside because the window's down here. Ours is like right there.
It's a small airplane, but it feels like a big airplane inside.
I think the seats are definitely more comfortable than a lot of planes that I've been on.
To be a passenger, that airplane really is. It's nice. It's a tall cabin, the seats are wide.
It's not a sauna in the summertime. You don't freeze in the wintertime.
Comparing to other airplanes its size, it's definitely the most comfortable airplane in the world.
All good things must come to an end.
Blue Ridge 6136, Cincinnati Tower. Good morning, 1260.
The last flight in the plane, the last time that pull the parking brake instead of up at the gate, that's going to be a hard one.
It was my first jet, my first flight as a captain.
You have sentimental value there.
It's just like a good friend. I will definitely look fondly upon the Doughjet and the time that we've spent flying it.
Like your first love, I guess, you know, it'll always hold a special place in my heart.
Everything I fly will always be compared to it.
Saying goodbye to it is hard.
It's going to be missed dearly.
And you'll never feel anything like that again.
I don't think I'll ever fly another plane like it, which makes me sad to see it go.
It's the end of one era is the best way to describe it.
To have loved and lost love, you know, there's no easy way to say goodbye to someone or something that you love. I was working at Fairchild when the first Dornier was delivered to San Antonio, Texas. And I happened to be in San Antonio at the factory. It was a Skyway jet. And I was flying the Metroliner at the time. And I happened to go on board. And I remember sitting in it and looking inside of it in the cockpit going, oh my God, what would it be like to fly this thing? And here I am.
I was doing IOE in the Dornier jet back in, I guess it would have been July of 2000, before we actually had our certificate. So we were riding around in polo shirts and jeans and things like that. And I was riding with Buddy Bailey. He's since retired, one of our instructors, actually retired in the Dornier. And we got a call saying that we had actually received an FAA certificate, and we were to cover a Delta Connection flight from from Kennedy to Raleigh. So of course we show up 2 hours late, as was the AC Jet way. And all the passengers come out, including an American jump seater who was very confused when he came into the cockpit and saw us dressed the way we were. We told him just to sit down and not ask any questions. So of course the Dornier promptly broke after that, and after another half-hour delay, we finally completed the first Atlantic Coast jet flight.
Thanksgiving 2000, year 2000, LaGuardia was just like a parking lot. People were landing out of sequence, and ground control was just having a hell of a time trying to get everybody to their gates. We landed at 9 o'clock at night on Thanksgiving Day. Everybody wanted to try and make their Thanksgiving dinner. We didn't get to the gate till midnight. It took us 3 hours from the moment we touched down to get into the gate. It was like a parking lot. We were playing what we called, that game where you move a puzzle around to make the picture work. Basically, that's what LaGuardia ground control was doing. They had airplanes all over the place. That airplane in front of you needed to go somewhere, but the airplane in front of it had no gate available yet. So we would taxi around the airplane. We would taxi the airplane around the airport so many times. It was just a sorry sight. The other airlines like Northwest and US Airways, they were actually declaring min fuel on the ground, because if they didn't get to the gate at a certain point, they would run out of fuel, period. And it would have been a bigger mess. So when I got into the gate at midnight, I thought, that has got to be the longest taxi time from touchdown to the gate. Only to come back next day and find out that there were people behind me who landed who didn't get to the gate till 1:30 in the morning. So they were out there in the taxiway for more than 4 hours. And you would imagine New Yorkers were livid at that point. They wanted to sue somebody.